Like, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. Help promote and rank up my channel. So we're going to be reviewing Stranger Things Season 4. Part 1 and Part 2. Quick bit of context. And you can check out a channel trailer up there if you want to know more what this channel is about. I talk movie and entertainment news, do TV show and movie reviews. Anyways, quick bit of context. Stranger Things, I think it's a solid show. At least Season 1 was. It's not a show I'm a die-hard fan of. It's not a show where I gotta rush out and immediately watch whatever new they drop. It's not. I've never been heavily into it. Never been so eager when my hands are clapping. I'm like, I can't wait to see more, to know more. No. I found Season 3 pretty sloppy and underwhelming. Season 2, don't even remember. Season 1, I remember. But, man, this season has made me want to rewatch everything up to this point, because this is one of the most impressive, well done things I've seen in a while.
We've lost them.
And the positives on this one, this has a huge, just impress. I'm at a loss for words. Look, this stuff looks so well made, so well shot, so well directed, and it's so well acted, performed. The villain comes off intimidating, cool looking, going into the upside down. There's just so many things in here. They're really cool. They took a lot of inspiration from Nightmare on Elm Street, Freddy Krueger, the horror legend. They had Robert Englund cameo in here. They've got this villain that can go into your mind and get you in your sort of dreams, or if you will. And then you've got Nancy. The build-up, the way they weave in together all these different storylines, all these different characters, to have this, just the way they threaded together, it's so damn impressive. I'm shocked, because I'm not some diehard Stranger Things guy. I've only seen most episodes once, but this is top-notch television. Television, of all things. What they do here feels like a movie. The runtime of each episode is the length of a movie. It feels like they're just rapid fire dumping movies, and it's really cool, really impressive. Every character, the cast is very large, but every character so smoothly handled. It's very impressive. The kills look gnarly as hell, like twisted, bone snapping and all that, and then you've got the story going to places where this town might become Silent Hill. There's just little funny moments too. There's impressive moments, like you're revisiting characters, the whole Russian storyline, seeing Hopkins. Really enjoyed that story side where he's over there in the Russian prison trying to escape. Then you've got the core storyline with all their main characters trying to figure out this Vecna problem. That's really interesting stuff. The Eddie was a nice addition, that character. I was a little bit hesitant to just get into his character at first, but his character turned out to be really cool. Some really shining moments, like awesome stuff. Most people in here, the characters, serve their part, and their part's pretty meaty, but there are some negatives. There's so many positives, though, that it's the most impressive season of not just Stranger Things, but it's more impressive than anything Disney Plus has put out. The execution, just the care, the passion put into this you could see it on screen. And, and I really missed that type of stuff, like, where it wasn't just virtue signal, it wasn't just representation, it wasn't just, oh, this, that, just something with a lot of passion in it, that a lot of people put a lot of effort and love into this. Negatives on this one at the runtime. While it may be awesome that every episode is the equivalent of a movie, even longer than some movies, it's really unnecessary. It wouldn't have to be this long if the cast wasn't so large. That's one of the biggest flaws with this. It is a large ensemble cast spread too far, too thin, and it really makes it easy to stretch out the runtime like this when you have this many freaking characters. Now, every character is actually treated with care and catered to. They're not neglected, so it doesn't seem like this person shouldn't be there. But when you have everybody split up all over the place, all over the world, essentially split up into different teams, and you're going from this to that, it's just too much. You have too many characters. Each group has a large amount of characters in it, and some plots just aren't as interesting as others. For instance, the road trip to go get Elle. That's you've got key core characters kind of sidelined for the entire season because they're on this road trip. The storyline's just not that interesting. Now, what's going on with Elle in the underground? What's going on with the core group back in Hawkins? And even what's going on in Russia? At least half of what's going on in Russia is more interesting. But also, most of what's going on in Russia turns out to be completely unnecessary in the end because it really does not contribute much to what's going on back in Hawkins. That's really disappointing. There's a lack of character deaths with a surprisingly large cast. Some people could afford to be killed off. Even characters you don't want to be killed off. But they probably should when your cast is this large. It's kind of ridiculous that there are so few deaths in comparison to how huge the cast is. So I think that's a pretty strong complaint. There are certain characters that just feel far too cartoonish, and maybe they serve to balance out some of the more serious stuff because this is pretty dark season. It goes pretty far with the fantasy violence. It looks pretty hardcore. It's very creepy, unsettling in some areas. But when you have cartoonish characters like Murray and Peanut Butter Pilot and hippie pizza truck driver guy that's always just baked, it seems overcooked. Some of these characters are too out there and need to be toned down a little bit because they come off so cartoonish. Then you have other things in here that are feel like characters acting out of characters. Somebody as paranoid as Murray, just getting drugged so easily. Kind of that. I don't buy that for a second. And then you've got Will, and this is going to be a controversial one. I never really felt like Will was gay. He got a big chunk of his life robbed from him. Of course, he just wants to be a kid a little bit longer and just hang out with the guys and play games and just do the guy slash, nerdy kid stuff because so much of his life has been taken from him and he missed out on so much, but it just feels so forced with how strong his feelings are for Mike, and in a gay way. It feels really forced to me. It's not that his performance was bad or anything. Nobody's performances are really all that bad. Maybe Eddie is a bit over the top in the beginning, but nobody's performances are really bad. It's just certain things feel like they're really forced and don't belong there. But maybe I'm wrong, because I'm not one of those people that have rewatched Stranger Things again and again. I've never revisited anything I've seen. I vaguely remember most of the stuff in the previous seasons, but I don't ever. I don't feel like this guy ever had these kinds of feelings for Mike. Other stuff in here, like I say, people acting cartoonish and stuff. You got the jocks that are pretty cartoonish. I mean, they're trying to organize a mob. They're interrupting police. This meeting and trying to organize teenage jocks trying to organize a sort of lynch mob or whatever, and you've got some adults going along with them, and the police don't try to stop them from inciting this violence, this call to violence. It's pretty silly, it's pretty far-fetched. And then you've got other things in the beginning of the show with like Elle being bullied, humiliating. There's a little bit of a stretch that so many other students and stuff would just like laugh about it or get arrested for standing up to herself. I know what she does is pretty hardcore, but it's off-putting to see her get arrested like this, and there's no parent around or whatever. They just take her, and it does go somewhere better, but there's a big chunk of time where you have to set through that. There's just a couple things in here that are pretty off-putting. The ending is a little bit confusing, and I would have liked it more clear, straightforward. Like, bad guy wins straight up. There's no misunderstandings. Heroes lose, bad guy wins. Next season, they're gonna have to deal with the reality they failed to prevent. I would have liked it to be a little bit more clear on certain things, like with Max's character. I have my suspicions what's going on there, but I could be totally wrong. And I really think that this show needs to stop playing it so safe with so many characters. Because you're not going to feel as much tension. It does lower the stakes. It does make you feel like at a certain next season's supposed to be the final season, so all bets are off. If you don't kill key core characters, I don't think they deserve to die. But in order to really sell it, you are gonna have to kill some of these characters. Season a solid 8 out of 10. Very impressive. I like it more than any other season of Stranger Things. I think the villain is awesome. The visuals are awesome. The movie scale budget, the cinematography, just it's so impressive for something on the TV side. Really impressive. And it just makes me laugh at Disney, because Disney has all this money. They keep on pumping out these shows that are like only 6 episodes long. Then you've got like 35-minute, a couple 30-minute episodes with like 10-15 minutes of credit. They're doing everything like half-assed. Whereas here, Stranger Things unleashed something insanely impressive that you think only somebody with the money in franchises like Disney has could do. But this just shames Disney. Disney should be ashamed of themselves in comparison to what the team of Stranger Things is able to accomplish, in comparison to all the Star Wars and Marvel live action shows they've just dumped routinely on Disney Plus. And anyways, let me know your thoughts and opinions on this season of Stranger Things. What do you think? Where do you think it's going? Do you feel like characters need to die? Do you feel like this cast is way too bloated? And you feel like this is just way too spread out? All these characters Because part of the joy is seeing them interact with each other, mingle together, bounce off each other with the dialogue. And it's better when funny stuff feels more organic, not out there and cartoonish. Let me know your thoughts and opinions. Like, subscribe, stay awesome. Rock on.